Hi everyone, welcome to this UCAT preparation session. My name's Ashley and I work at Newcastle University in the Faculty of Medical Sciences. I work in student recruitment and outreach. So today we're going to be going through the UCAT test in general, and then we're also going to go through some test questions and look at each section individually. Hopefully you all have a booklet in front of you so you can work along with me. First off, I do just want to touch on the course at Newcastle a little bit. So our medicine course at Newcastle is integrated. So this just means that you learn your theory alongside your practical. So you learn all of your scientific knowledge alongside your clinical training. So if you're a hands-on learner, it might be really good for you. Material is covered by looking at body systems. So for example, we might be looking at the digestive system, and this means you would get your theory sort of on the biochemistry and physiology of that, and maybe the pharmacology too. And then you'd go into our clinical skills and learn the clinical skills that go along with the anatomy as well, which you'd see in our dissection labs. The General Medical Council recommend an integrated style of teaching, but that's not to say that there aren't others. Within the UK, you could also study a traditional course or a problem-based learning course. At the end of these degrees, you get a medical degree at the end of it. So there's not really much difference apart from the style of teaching. So it's really important for you to research how each course is taught and which one you think you would prefer and which one would suit you most. Medicine at Newcastle is professionally accredited by the GMC, which all medical schools should be, and we have study abroad opportunities. So in second year, you could actually do a semester in Malaysia at our sister campus, NewMed, and in year 4, you can do an 8-week elective. So most medical schools offer the elective, but this is at the end of 4th year. You can go anywhere in the world and sort of study and practice medicine. There's also opportunities for intercalated study. So at Newcastle, a lot of our students choose to take a year out of studying medicine between 4th and 5th year, and will study for a master's degree in something related to medicine. Quite often these are things like global health or cancer research, really useful if you're wanting to go down an academic route of medicine when you go on to practice. But it's things like this that can really add a bit more value to your degree. So it's worth having a look at each university that you're applying to, what they offer, what's different from other universities. Entry requirements are 3 A's at A level and a valid UCAT score. Our interviews for UK students are multiple mini interviews, but for international students, these will be performed on Zoom, so they'll be a panel style interview. So just looking at the course in Newcastle just a little bit more in depth, in year 1 and 2 you get varied teaching, including lectures, clinical skills teaching and anatomy teaching, but we also have links with community-based practitioners. So if you are wanting to get out in the community as soon as possible, Newcastle's a really great place to do that. And as I was saying, you get a series of clinical cases where you learn the body within systems. In year 3, you get a 15-week introduction into clinical practice, and then you're attached to a government hospital. Newcastle University is a regional medical school, so that means that we stretch from sort of Teesside, which is just south of Newcastle, right up to the Scottish borders and out to the west to Cumbria. And I think this is a massive benefit because it means that you get to experience a lot of different types of medicine during your degree. You get inner city medicine at the RVI hospital in Newcastle, which is one of the best hospitals in the country. But you also go sort of up to the Scottish borders or out to Cumbria, where it's a lot more rural. And we've got ageing populations, and rural medicine is quite different. So it's a really big benefit for you to be able to experience all of that within your degree. You also do placements in child and adolescent health, community, mental health, and women's health, and these are 6 weeks each. And then there's a student selected component, which is 4 weeks. This is where you can start to tailor your degree a little bit more. In year 4, you do placements in long-term conditions and your 8-week elective abroad or at home. And then in year 5, you do your exams right at the beginning, and then you prepare for foundation training and you do further clinical placements. So year 5 is really about you transitioning from medical student into practitioner. So now moving on to the UCAT. So there's 2 different tests that you could do. You could do UCAT or BMAT. BMAT is actually getting taken out of circulation for the next cycle, so you can still do it this year. But we don't take BMAT, we take UCAT, and this stands for the University Clinical Aptitude Test. This is a computer test normally taken in an external test centre. If anyone's taken their sort of driving theory test, it's taken in very similar, well, the same sort of test centres that you do that. There's no curriculum information, so you haven't learned all of this information at school, so you can't revise for it, but you can prepare, and you absolutely do need to prepare. The test itself is 2 hours long with 5 different sections. Now, each of these sections is timed as well, so you can't sort of save a little bit of time on one section that you're really good at and carry it over to another. Each section is individually timed. And the test just tests different mental abilities identified by UK medical and dental schools to be important. So we get a lot of candidates, a lot of very academically capable candidates. So this is just sort of another step to sort of try and get the best candidates that we can. These are your key dates. So registration opens 16th of May 2023. So it is already open. But then you can book your test from the 20th of June 2023. Now you don't need to book your test to sit it as soon as you can, say on the 10th of July, but I would recommend booking your test for as soon as possible. Even if you wanted to book your test and then sit it in December, that's absolutely fine. But because this is taking an external test centres, there are only a certain amount of testing spaces. So make sure you get booked up as soon as possible. There is a charge for the test. This is £70 for in the UK. All of the information is on the website, which I'll link in the video below. But to prepare for UCAT, make sure that you're using all of the resources UCAT provide on their website. They've got a fantastic amount of practice questions that you can take. And as I said, you can't really revise for this test, but you can prepare. And getting used to the way that UCAT ask these questions is one of the most important things. So you want to familiarise yourself with each type of question and each section of the test. But once you're feeling a little bit more up to speed with it, then try and practice as if you are taking the test. So use an on-screen calculator. Little things like this can save you a few seconds, and because this test is so time pressured, little seconds like that really do make the difference. And writing your notes on a whiteboard. The whiteboard they give you is just a laminated sheet of paper, so you can just use a sheet of paper when you practice as well. We would recommend building up with an hour or so per day, 6 weeks before the exam, and building up your time as you get closer. Familiarise yourself with the UCAT candidate guide for the relevant test type. Download the app on your phone so you can practice on the go. Certain different questions, such as the abstract reasoning questions, are really brilliant on that UCAT app. Follow them on Instagram because they post new questions every week, and there is a video as well, which I will link within this video here, and I'll put the link for this just down